Hello. As mentioned in our previous section, we are now going to be talking about how energy and matter are distributed within an ecosystem. So the first model that we're going to take a look at is what we call an energy pyramid. So this is going to show us how energy is going to be distributed as we move through the different trophic levels within an ecosystem. So we're going to start at the bottom with our producers. They make up the base of our pyramid. Then we'll move up to our primary consumers, and then next to our secondary consumers, and then lastly to the tertiary consumers. And what we find happening as we move up these different trophic levels is that energy is going to be lost as these organisms are processing this matter. So between each tier of an energy pyramid, up to 90% of the energy is lost as heat to the atmosphere. So as these organisms, as their cells go through the process of cellular respiration, if you recall from that chemical reaction, it is an exothermic reaction. So heat will be lost here, and that's why we see that only 10% of that energy is going to be transferred from one trophic level to the next. So that means that we are definitely going to need a lot more producers within an ecosystem than we do top-level consumers. Now, as we look at how matter is distributed within an ecosystem, we'll actually use a couple of different models to help give us a better understanding of this. So the first one we're going to look at is what we call a biomass pyramid. So this is going to be a measure of the total dry mass of organisms in a given area. And again, we're going to be looking at the different trophic levels within an ecosystem. So again, we start with producers, and we work our way through the various levels of consumers. And this just shows us the total dry mass of those organisms. So we're not looking at each individual organism in a biomass pyramid. It's going to be our total mass at each one of these levels. Now, another way that we can look at this is through what we call a pyramid of numbers. And this is going to show us the number of individual organisms at each trophic level. So the total number of producers, the total number of primary consumers, secondary consumers, and then lastly, tertiary consumers. So once again, just like we had said with an energy pyramid, we have to have a vast number of producers to support even just a few top-level consumers. So it's important that the number of producers is maintained within an ecosystem so that it will allow all of those other consumers within that ecosystem, it'll allow them to survive. Gives them a food source. So guys, that wraps up our notes for Unit 4, Section 1. What I'll have you do, just make sure you fill in all the blanks for all the sections, and then please make sure you submit your notes on Canvas to receive credit for this assignment.